This here is not a smartphone, as you can see. It's the Xiaomi AI feature phone funded by Xiaomi, and it's not a phone for everybody, so let's get started. Xiaomi invests in a lot of companies, maybe too many to track down, and sometimes they allow certain companies to sell in their 𝙬𝙤𝙗 store, which is some sort of a Mi Home store, let's say. And Xiaomi is one of those companies, and they made this phone, the One S. And they made this feature phone with a lot of interesting features, like for example a real-time translator, 4G internet connection, a Type-C port, and it's running on some sort of an Android, but a whole lot more on that all later. When you decide to purchase this phone, you get it into this box. There's Chinese on the front and on the rear, so that's something that you have to keep in mind. But if you remove the lid, you have the phone itself. Now below the phone you will find the Type-C cable, a SIM popper and a manual in Mandarin Chinese. The concept of this phone is super interesting. It's just not made for everyone, at least here in the Western market. For example, if you receive this phone, it's all in Mandarin Chinese and you can set it to English, but it's really hard to find it if you don't know any Chinese at all. Yet, not everything is translated to English as well. And even though it's a feature phone, something basic as a vibrator is missing. The interesting thing of this phone, at least when I saw it for the first time, is notice that it runs on the MoCore 5 OS, which is based on Android, so I thought I can maybe install some applications. Unfortunately, that's not possible because installations are blocked. Now on top of that, you can't find the Android ADB driver as well, so modding the phone will be impossible. That would have been interesting if modding was possible, because often software is not really smooth at all and it's also kind of buggy at times, so that's something that you have to keep in mind. The good thing though, however, is that phone calls are relatively good to make, and on top of that, you can play Snake. Now, this phone also has 4G on board, and the interesting thing is, it's not because you can watch YouTube videos on it. No, you can do something else. You can use Xiaomi's AI to real-time translate. And translating is now only Chinese to other languages, but it would have been nice to see that it works, for example, from English to Chinese. And that would be very interesting if you go very often to China for work, holiday or whatever, and at least you can talk to the local people, let's say. This is also the very first feature phone that I see that has a USB Type-C port. Why though? Maybe you can let me know in the comment section down below. In the end, it's up to you to decide what you think of a phone like this. I think that there's still quite a market for phones like this, but then maybe in the more developing markets, if the software is adjusted to Western standards as an elderly phone because of all the nice big buttons, or maybe for travelers that would like to speak to local people and want to use a real-time translator to have a nice evening or a conversation. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and then I hope to see all of you in the next one.